Hey guys, you're watching BTech. My name is Basil and this is the Microsoft Lumia 650. The Lumia 650 is a budget phone, $199 in the US, but it aims to punch in way above its weight, and definitely when I first held it, design-wise, it does just that. But how about the rest of the phone? Worth buying? I'm gonna jump into that, but before I do, if you haven't subscribed to BTech already, subscribe to the channel and consider it by clicking that subscribe button on YouTube. It helps us out like crazy. Right, back to the Lumia 650. This $199 phone has a metal frame, a soft touch plastic back, an AMOLED display, and an 8 megapixel rear camera, 5 megapixel front facing camera. It feels really nice. The design of it is definitely one of my favorite things. What's really annoying is the fact it feels better than the Lumia 950 and 950 XL, especially that soft touch backing. It's grippier, it's just, yeah. Microsoft has won out in that respect. As far as key ports go, you've got a micro USB down at the base. Up at the top is a 3.5mm headphone jack. The buttons have a really nice kind of click feedback to them. They're easy to find when you're just thumbing over the side of the device and easy to press too. The back cover is indeed removable and there is a 2000 milliamp battery under the hood. Around the back, that 8 megapixel camera is paired with a flash, and you do also have micro SD expandability as well. Ultimately, between how good this feels in the hand, how slender it is and how light it is, I was showing it to people and they were guessing it was costing around 250 to 300 odd pounds, and I'm not surprised, but it doesn't. At $199, that's about 160 pounds. So the design instantly gets a thumbs up. I do actually prefer it based on its size and everything to most other devices in the price range. The same can be said of the screen in a lot of ways. It's a 5-inch AMOLED display, pixel density of 293 pixels per inch. Now, it's not as sharp as many devices out there, but the fact it's OLED means you've got beautiful punchy colors and deep blacks. There's also a polarizing filter that Microsoft has put on top of it, and that polarizing filter gives it really good viewing angles and just finishes off the screen experience beautifully. At under 300 pixels per inch though, and with a pentile display, there is a little bit of bittiness to it. So if you're a real stickler for a sharp screen, you might be a little bit underwhelmed by what this has to offer, especially when you've got things like the Honor 5X and the Vodafone Smart Ultra 6 with full HD display. But I definitely didn't mind that little bit of sacrifice in sharpness for that stunning quality under that beautiful polarizing filter. And so, yeah, between the design and the screen, the whole Microsoft Lumia 650 experience is a pleasure to behold. But what about that Windows 10 for mobile inside? Now, this is an operating system that is driving me crazy because I love it. I love using it. I love the live tiles, and like I really enjoy a lot of things about it. The keyboard is freaking awesome. I love that like nubbin that you can just use to scroll through letters, and generally it's a beautiful operating system as well. It takes full advantage of that OLED display. What drives me crazy is the app support and a few inconsistencies with it. It's just not there. Every time I review an Android device, I review an iPhone, I have no struggle with applications whatsoever. As soon as I jump onto Windows Phone, I just want to tear my hair out, and that is the real problem with this phone and indeed every other Windows phone. The thing that saved the Lumia 950 and 950 XL was a cool continuum support that nothing else on the market offered. This doesn't, but this does offer, like I said, stunning design and a great screen for the price. The crux of the experience in terms of apps is also going to be perfect if the extent of your apps is going to be things like Office on the go and really readily available apps. You've even got things like Instagram support now and stuff like that. There's great RSS reading capabilities from next gen reader, third-party applications, and games are also getting better. I really enjoyed playing Final Fantasy 3 on this thing, but things like the advanced features of applications that have made it onto here, like Instagram having multiple accounts for iOS, or even just video support, it's just not there. So Windows 10 for mobile, you need to just get better to make me a convert. For businesses though, this could be the perfect thing for you. Microsoft's also enabling people to make their own applications within the Microsoft Store experience. So if you're a company and you're thinking of doing that, then this this again could be for you. In fact, that's one of the main things I reckon I'll be able to do, is recommend this phone for businesses who want to kit out a workforce with inexpensive phones that look super premium and cover the basics, especially Office on the go. But if you're a consumer and you want the best app support around, then Windows 10 still is not the operating system for you. But if you are a consumer and you have around $200 to spend and you want to get the best camera experience for the price, yeah, this may well be it. The 8-megapixel camera around the back may not be the most pixel-tastic for the price, but between the manual controls, you can control manual focus, shutter speed, etc. You can get some stunning photographs, and they have the same algorithms that are on the Lumia 950 and 950 XL for noise suppression and stuff like that. So Microsoft has killed it when it comes to making a budget phone, which is actually amongst the best camera phones you can buy for under 250 odd pounds sterling. Really impressed. Definitely better than the Moto G, definitely better than the Honor 5X as far as that rear shooter goes. And the front camera isn't bad either. 5 megapixels, loads of detail, sometimes too much detail if you don't like looking at your wrinkles. And that's actually a good thing when it comes to camera quality. So the camera gets a huge thumbs up. As far as other multimedia elements go, the Microsoft Store is getting better and better when it comes to movies and TV shows and stuff like that. And if you are sold into the experience, awesome. The Music Pass, etc. Is great if you want to get that, but that's going to cost an extra load of money. There is support for things like Spotify though, and that is indeed getting better as well as an application on Windows phones. So there's loads and loads of ways you can get your content onto here, Netflix too. But a lot of the applications that I know and love, like BBC iPlayer, don't offer offline playback on Windows Phone, and just a few things like that end up hampering the experience, if not ruining it completely. As far as games go, it's hit and miss. This thing runs a Qualcomm Snapdragon 210 processor, so it was never ever gonna be one of the best gaming devices on the planet. Like I said earlier though, I played Final Fantasy 3 on this thing for ages and I absolutely had a blast. Other games just simply wouldn't install, and that's fine then. Other games like Tomb Raider did install but didn't play. Temperon played just fine. Wouldn't really recommend this as a gaming device, so games are a nice to have. But like I said, this is a really good, relatively inexpensive workhorse on the go. In spite of that 210 processor and just 1 gig of RAM, I didn't really have any problems with performance. It hung a little bit every now and then. Around the camera I was taking pictures and sometimes it took a second to process the picture out completely before it displayed the final one. But I didn't think it was running a 210 processor with 1 gig of RAM. Windows Phone is ultimately just a lot more efficient than Android, and that really is the key thing that saves this phone's bacon. It feels like a more expensive phone than it is when you're holding it, when you're using it, and as long as you don't think to yourself, I'm using a 210 processor, that's Snapdragon 210 processor phone with 1 gig of RAM, you won't know you are. The phone also has 16 gig of internal memory, which for a device of this price is pretty standard in the Android world, but should never be taken for granted, and for a Windows phone is absolutely ample. It has LTE, the SD card expandability, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, etc. And I really wasn't left wanting in any regard other than the operating system allowing me some more applications. That said, the only other area where Microsoft really has scrimped massively is that battery. You've got 2000 milliamps under the hood. Now this isn't too bad. I thought it would be terrible. I thought I wouldn't even get half a day out of it. Once you start using it though, you realize the optimizations here are great between the really not that powerful processor and the fact that have a lot of screen off time on this thing because it's a Windows phone and there aren't that many apps to use. It lasts a full day. The screen on time, the higher that goes, the worse the performance of the battery is. Like with any phone, it's more drastic on a phone with a smaller battery, and indeed is more drastic on the Lumia 650. So if you are watching a lot of movies, playing a lot of games, you will zip through that 2000 milliamps a lot quicker. But in spite of that, I still say you could get a comfortable day out of this thing, and it supports Quick Charge 2.0 as well, I believe, so you'll be able to charge it relatively quickly considering the size of the cell inside. All in all, the Microsoft Lumia 650 is a great looking phone with a great looking screen and a really beautiful user interface that isn't quite there when it comes to app support, and that would make me very tentative to recommend it to consumers and users who just want the latest greatest apps. If you are pretty happy with the app apps that come installed on your phone, just want a few applications, and indeed want to kit out a workforce with really inexpensive devices that look so good for the price, this could be just the ticket. If you like this video, click that thumbs up button, and if you like BTech, like I said at the beginning, subscribe. That helps us out massively. In addition, if you missed Gina's video last Friday, check it out. You could be in with a chance of winning an Honor 5X if you enter our competition. All the details will be linked through below. Thanks for watching.